Hi and welcome to another Studio One episode. My name is Matthias and today we're looking at the audio splitter of Studio One. And you can do parallel processing, but you can also do some cool cross-fading effects with this feature in Studio One. And let's take the tour. Okay, so let's first listen to a quick demo here with the audio splitting so you can see what you can do with audio splitting. In this case, I'm doing some effects cross-fading. So that's one way to use the audio splitter to create this intricate crossfading between different effect setups. So if we delete this complete set of effects, so I can explain exactly how this was set up. So now the only thing we have on this master channel, it's a limiter. And if we go into the splitter here, let's drag out a splitter. And you can also move your inserts around here. So you can see we can move the limiter after the splitting. So basically a splitter is splitting your audio signal in different ways. And in this case we have it set to normal splitting. So it's basically splitting your stereo signal into two different stereo signals. You can also change the splits to be more points. So we can say 4 points. That gives us 4 different lanes. And in all these lanes we can have different effect setups. So we can introduce a dual pan on this lane. And maybe a groove delay here in this lane. And then we can mix all these different lanes together. So that's one way to use the audio splitter. Let's go back to have 2 channels. You can also do a channel split, and that means that you take your stereo signal and you get the left sent to one side and the right signal being sent to this other side. And last but not least, we have the frequency splitter. So you can do your regular multiband compression here if you want. So split it into 3 different paths. And then you can add compressors to all these. And then you can have these compressors set up differently. And now you basically have a multiband compressor. But that's not what we're going to do today. We are going to set this to 2 signals again, and a normal split. So we have a stereo signal going to the left and a stereo signal going to the right here. And one thing to note is that we can't add a macro to control these levels, because here you can control the level of the left track and the level of the right audio split. But there's a way to work around this. So we will add the mix tool. Here we have the mix tool. So let's drag the mix tool. You can also copy plugins here just by holding down Alt. So let's drag a mix tool. And we will make this right side have a different effect setup compared to our left side. So we will drag the Pro EQ first. Where are you? Here we have the Pro EQ, so we drag it here. Double click to open that up. And let's set a low pass filter here. Maybe a 24 dB. So we have a kind of bandpass filter like in the demo. Let's add a little bit of resonance here to the top. And maybe we want some, let's add some reverb in there too. So now we have 2 different effect lanes. But how do we crossfade between these 2 lanes? We can go in here and open the first mix tool, right click the gain here and attach this to our macro control knob number 1. Then we go back to the splitting, we double click on the second mix tool and do the same thing here. We attach the gain by right clicking, connect to gain to knob 1 of the macros. Then we can open the macro page and now we see that this has been connected. Click the wrench icon here and we can see that we have it connected to the first mix tool and the second mix tool. But there's a problem here. We can see that both of these have this curve where they go from -24 up to +24. But we want them to crossfade between each other. So what we do is we can invert so that the second one will die off as we increase the gain here. And the first one will be increased. And we can also make a slight curve here, so we have a smoother transition between these two. And let's drag this down so we don't go with the too hot signal. Let's drag it to 4.8 decibels. Now if we listen back, you can see that we can effectively mix crossfade between these two lanes. So that's a quite cool effect, and now we can maybe have a delay on this left side. Let's add an analog delay there. Then you can obviously always go in here and adjust the transition curve if you find that your crossfading is not as smooth as you want. So that's a really powerful tip to have crossfading between different effect setups. Yeah, so I really hope that this audio splitting tutorial gave you a few tips on how you can use this audio splitting feature to create some really intricate effect setups and crossfading effects. If you have any questions, please write them in the comments section below. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I see you in the next video. Bye!